Good morning. This is Mark Bruno, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, and it is Friday, which means we are here with Frank. Before we bring Frank out, I'd like to remind everybody to please like, share, subscribe. If you have a future topic that you'd like us to consider, shoot us a comment. So Frank, how are you? And I understand we've got a special guest with us, the new BTA president, Mike Boyle.
Yes, we do, and I'm thrilled to have him because, what I've learned for years from dealers is they want to hear about solutions from dealers, fellow dealers. They don't want to hear them from manufacturers. They really don't want to hear from these so-called experts. They want to talk to the guy who does it. And to me, having Mike Boyle as a guest is a real pleasure, and it's an honor to have him. So, Mike, I just discovered that you and I started businesses the same year, 1979.
Listen, Frank, are you sure about that? Because I don't usually count the years, but yeah, it's 19 and that's a long time ago in terms of how we got ourselves rolling. But here we are today, and we're still at it, and thank God. I'm blessed to have been attracted to this industry, to have started this company, to have worked on the corporate side. It's helped me with raising my family and making sure there's always food on our table, and I'm very, very happy and grateful for what this business has done for me. And in part, I'm trying to give back by with BTA in terms of having been on the board for a number of years and now being the president, to help the people like me, because I remember the nuggets of information that I got from attending the shows and the education and things like dealers helping dealers. Things that I walk away with a nugget, Frank, that all of a sudden allows me to better prosper in our business, better handle our customers, better be more efficient, be more effective. So it's been a really helpful thing for this association, and anyone that is in the younger, earlier stages of their entrepreneurship should really try to attach themselves to BTA as well as other organizations. But BTA has somewhat been the, I guess, gold standard for the dealers, being that we're coming up on our 100th-year anniversary. So, and I'm also it's like the roulette wheel, Frank. The 100-year happened on my watch. All right. So I have to always smile no matter what.
I'll tell you, I feel very fortunate by the old days in NAMDA. I mean, I was a newbie, with my business, and the guys there were great and helped me immensely because they kept giving me slots in the, in the training area. Frank, do one of these, and I loved it. But what a great experience for me to, get up there and having NAMDA say, well, this is the expert in the field, and he's going to tell us really what has to be done. Thank you, guys. So I did that, Frank, for several years.
Over the years, I've picked up a couple of nuggets from you because I attended some of those seminars where you got up as the industry expert. And this, you might have had a little more hair then, but I'm not sure. I don't have pictures. Okay.
For sure I did, for sure.
All right. But you would get up, and to be honest with you, you give a good presentation. I'm not telling you something you don't know, but you were very helpful in terms of guys like me that were young to the business, that were just trying to figure out, what direction to go. And I thank you for the nuggets that you pass on to me, and like we're trying to do now, what I'm trying to do, and with BTA, is pay it forward to pass some new nuggets as well as some old nuggets that still have life in them.
Well, that's very kind of you, and thank you very much, Mike. And it's great that we both had a similar experience, that this wouldn't have happened for you and wouldn't have happened for me if it wasn't for NAMDA. I can tell
Exactly.
you that right now. That was
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
At any rate, I know this is not what our audience wants
No,
to hear
no, of
about
course, of
two
course.
guys talking about the past, but you're in a great position now. In my opinion, Mike, this is one of the roughest times I've seen dealers go through ever since COVID. It has really been difficult. In your opinion, and not only from your personal business experience, but from your knowledge of the other dealers in the BTA, do you feel that the suggestions that have been made by so many different people to do different things is having any merit with dealers, and are they profiting by diversifying? Are they increasing their profitability by getting into IT, production, print? Does any of that stuff make sense? Is it resonating?
I think that quite a bit of it makes sense and it does resonate. IT, you have to put in the time and you have to be able to put in the money, and if you want to be successful in that business, and we all know that. And but again, when you diversify, and you have to diversify into other products in order to contribute to the bottom line. Obviously, in our case, our print volumes are down, as they are down for everyone. I don't know anyone that can sit here and say that they have a stable customer base, that the print volume is increasing. I think, but with that, there's still very much a demand for MFPs. I mean, we're in our market, we're going pretty good as far as our MFP business, but we're very aware of what is happening with the print copies. So therefore, when we take a look at diversification, you've got to first make sure your current house, I feel, is in order, in good order. In other words, you've got your service billing going correctly to make sure that whatever prints you're getting them, all right, as far as being paid for. That you're on top of your leases, you're on top of the turnover that needs to happen. When you feel you have your house in order, all right, then I think it's a good time to start looking at diversification and what opportunity areas could exist for you. Production print is clearly one. Again, that requires investment. Okay. IT also requires investment and time. We've jumped also into VoIP. All right. And VoIP is starting to have some traction, and that doesn't require as much upfront investment as some of the other diversification strategies. So it has to happen. And then I would almost couple that for dealers, because we're doing it. And this is something I've learned from going to shows and attending education. We got to start paying a lot of attention to AI. All right. In my company, we established an AI task force to basically determine what can we do better in terms of efficiencies, customer touches, our gear out there. I mean, it's amazing what's out there. And I truly do believe at the end of the day, whoever can try to best master, and I don't think master is too strong a word, but the base utilization of AI in an existing business, if done properly, will help you tremendously. And I would urge people to pay attention to that. And there's a lot of pieces to it, and I don't want us to go off on that per se, but I think it's just something that's it's worth a look. And talk to some of your compadres and dealers, or attend some of these shows and talk to people and find out how they're doing it. That's how I learned. In terms of doing things in our industry, most of my information I've learned from others that are successful, and I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just hopefully give a good smile and a thank you, and I'll get all the help I need from people in this business.
That's good to hear, Mike. And then what you reiterated what I've heard from so many successful dealers through the years, and that's good to hear. And the whole point that I'm trying to make by having people like you on Fridays with Frank is that there are solutions, there are challenges, and if you look at what other dealers have done, then that should be the answer for you. Because if they did it, you can do it. We all know it's a matter of degree, as you indicated, depends on your resources. So
Right.
there's ways you can go in at a low level and just gradually learn what that part of that business is. Like on production print, go into light production. Light production is just a continuation of copying and print.
Right.
And it doesn't require monumental investment. Although the equipment is a little more expensive. That's it. And hopefully bring the profits. But, it's with the 100th anniversary coming up. What are your thoughts about one of the most significant things that NAMDA BTA have done all the years that you've been in business?
Have been in my view, have been the advocate for the dealer community within the industry. You take a look at the history of BTA, and I've learned quite a bit. And the BTA as an organization, our dealer population has shrunk. Our membership now is probably about 600 or so. And, versus, well over thousands in the past in terms of the amount of dealers. But again, that's points to what's happened in our industry in terms of acquisitions and private equity and the growth of businesses to some of the larger dealers that are out. But the bottom line is that we need to have an organization that advocates for the dealers, advocates with manufacturers, is sitting there offering opportunities for people to come to learn, to be able to meet other people, to be able to network. My friendships that I've established in our industry, for most part, is attending shows and seminars and seeing you back in the day and the likes of that, because that's how I develop relationships and that's how I can learn from people. And I would encourage people to don't allow yourself to be in a silo. Don't just think you have all the answers. Lean on the people that are in this business, that have been in this business, can be helpful. We're not going to change the world on your behalf, but if we give you a couple of nuggets to help your business grow, then all I ask is that you pay that on to the next person when you have that opportunity.
That's fair enough, and that certainly makes a lot of sense. Is there any one area that you think that the dealers are embracing now that is really speaks well for the future?
I mean, I think people are dealers now. Yes, we're hearing a lot about IT, which then, even that, you have some people that are focused in on cyber. Okay, you have some people on the network side. In other words, the specialties branching out from the term IT. I see dealers advocating their businesses to shift into these growth opportunities. And from a BTA perspective, what we're trying to do is increase the size of our tent. We want those people to be part of our community in terms of those businesses that have been steady in those areas that are new to the BTA members. So hopefully that change, along with what we've been doing for the last 100 years, will continue for the next. So that's but you can't ignore it. The option of standing still is not an option. You have to take steps to move forward. And the only way to do that is to learn and see what fits in your market, with your company, with your culture, and lean on those people that can give you that help, because we're here for that.
Well, that's coming from you. That's got to make a lot of sense to these people. I can't think of anyone who doesn't fit the model of the senior dealer in the BTA who's been there and done that and is still doing it.
Exactly.
And that's a very successful business. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Frank, thanks for having me, and continued success for you and the Cannata Group.
Well, thank you, pal, and the same to you.